All right, on to the next subject. Now, for the most part, I think the rest of this show is going to be probably wrestling talk. So, did everybody see the Greyson Waller interview with LA Knight on Sunrise here in Australia?
I didn't know.
I've seen clips of it.
It's a good job. I did this.
Yeah, can you not me?
I'll just be over here.
But can you show us one of the moves?
No, I think it actually just showed on the screen there. If I do that, it's not going to be a good day for
maybe someone in like our floor manager, maybe he seems
well,
available.
actually, our floor manager's leaving this week.
Yeah.
And he's sort of, I don't know.
That's not for me. You want to go ahead and take this one?
Look.
I've already seen this.
I don't understand. Like, if I come over there right now, we're going to have the police here because I'm not going to give you some fake punch. Like, I'm going to punch you straight in the jaw. The disrespect that you have even talking to me. No, you want to talk to me like this ain't real? I got no, don't act all tough. Don't act all tough.
Oh, my God.
Get him out of there. You get out of there. You get out. I'm so sorry. I don't know too,
mate. Come here trying to disrespect us. Are you kidding me?
I'm not disrespecting you.
You're all right, mate. No, we love you.
Hey, you take that trash talk and you get out of here.
I love how the host is now on the other side of it after pulling him in there.
Roid rage much?
Can you wrap this up? Hold your pants tight.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah,
Thank you very
not
much,
at all.
gentlemen.
It's just blatant. It's just blatant disrespect.
Yeah. Like they've tried to make out that it's fake, and like, yeah, okay, the moves, the punching, stuff like that, it is fake, but it's not at the same time. Like, do you know what I mean? People always discredit it, and I believe Greyson Waller here has done a really, really good job of protecting the industry while staying in character.
Yeah,
and getting his point across.
Yeah,
I think LA Knight's done a good job of staying in the background on that one.
but it would also be out of character for him to, you know, arc up there like he's the baby face.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas Greyson Waller's there as the heel. So
can I one thing that's really dumb to me is that they have the undisputed universal title there with no champion sitting on that couch. That's just one of my I get it for promotion, but it's like you've got a mid-carder and LA Knight who will hopefully have it at some point. But
I think there's probably going to be a championship match in there for maybe at the Elimination Chamber, which LA Knight may be a part of. So,
yes, it's true.
And I guess part of the thing is that your average Sunrise viewer is not going to have a clue who either of them are.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
If they flick over to that and just see these two guys sitting on there, they're not going to know who they are. They see that belt sitting in front and they're like, "Oh, this is some wrestling or UFC or..."
Yeah. That's fair. But we're going back on that. That's fair. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
It just, I think as the wrestling fan, I'm just like, but in that sense, it makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you got to remember how many wrestling fans. I mean, Australia is pretty big for wrestling fans.
Wrestling, yeah.
The ticket sales have attested to that.
It's just so funny to me how the male host, I don't know his name, who is obviously not Koch, has actually tried to kind of egg this on, and then as soon as he realized that Greyson Waller was not having a bar of it, he's just turned around and tried to act like he was against us the whole time to the other guy. You can't play both sides of the coin there. You're either going too far overboard or you're against it and you don't bring him in.
Yeah, because I agree. It's terrible hosting. It's probably a bit of naivety by the female host.
Yeah,
but
maybe
she hasn't said a whole lot there, to be honest. Like, I don't think
right at the start it was her that says, "Would you mind showing sort of one of the moves?"
True.
So she's the one that actually initiates it,
but she didn't pull him in. She didn't pull the.
I think she just misread the situation at that point in time.
That's what I mean by probably being a little bit naive on the situation.
Like even Grayson turned around. He's like, "No problem with you. We love you. You're fine." Like, obviously the problem wasn't with her. So
Ben, I kind of wanted to see him actually punch the producer of whatever it was, and that just...
I love Greyson Waller, but
I'd be for it. But like, he'd also get removed from the WWE almost immediately.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and I think he handled the situation really well, and we don't end up with another situation where
Hunter would turn it into a
No,
because it's an
it probably would have been charged with assault anyway. So
yeah,
and any money if he punched the cast worker, he would have been a mark. Like he wouldn't have been an actual crew worker. So it would have been a fake punch, and then maybe from there. But obviously that's not fake. So no, like he's just going to put his whole career on the line by doing that.
Yeah, we don't want another incident like we had with was it Hogan that choked out the talk show host.
Yeah.
But then if they had played it right and it was a mark sort of situation, we could have had like Jerry the King Lawler and what was that comedian's name where he slapped him?
Drew Carey.
No. The guy that actually wrestled, Andy Hoffman. Was it Andy Hoffman? No,
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah,
Andy Kaufman.
Where he hit him on the David Letterman show.
Yeah. If it was a work, then I would it would have been cool in that respect because I think most wrestling fans would have understood it to work, and non-wrestling fans would have been like, what's happened now? I have to. But in the way that it's not, he has handled it right. He's obviously shown that he's not someone to mess with. Like, I wouldn't mess with a pro wrestler, even if all of it's fake, because I'm not taking a bump. Not happening.
Yeah.
Like, so
here's a little question for you. How old do you think Greyson Waller is?
21.
He's in his 30s, isn't he?
He's in his late 30s.
Yeah, 36.
I was gonna say he looked close to 40.
Yeah, I until I found that out, I didn't believe it. I thought he was like when I first started watching him in NXT, I thought he was late 20s.
Yeah, he's 33. He's not late 30s.
I thought he was late. I thought for some reason he was 35, 36.
No, he's in that. He's in that
LA 90s.
Oh, he's 40 something. I already know.
Yeah,
that.
40.
He looks his age, man.
41.
Yeah,
I think 41 or 42, something around there.
You mean Max Dupree? Yeah, no, he's 40. Yeah, he's 40. He's in his 40s. It's very his hairline kind of gives him away.
So we're all in agreement that he handled that pretty well,
as best he could. I say. I don't think there's probably a better scenario with that.
I still wanted to see violence, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's you and your bum hut. That's fair enough.
Now, while we were doing work on our YouTube channel, which you can find us over at youtube.com/@SwitchedOnSquad, during the week, there was an episode of Raw on. Now, Stu was in Tasmania. Well, actually on a boat on the way home from Tasmania at the time. Yeah. Blowy, I don't think, had any way of watching it, but Jack and I did watch Raw while we were on a video call and doing some work. And we saw probably an early contender for match of the year, I reckon, at the start of that show.
You're putting it up there, are you?
With how the year's gone in the year to be
with how the year's gone.
That's why I said early contender. Yeah. By far, I think it's the best match that we have seen since the new year.
In terms of pure work, I'd give it that. Yeah, the DIY, DIY versus
Yeah, we are going to have many a match that is going to surpass it. Don't get me wrong, but at the moment it is there. It was DIY versus the Judgment Day in Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonough.
That's right. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's what
all of them. No, carry on. You go.
I was going to say one that probably you were just going to say as well. All of them were made to look really strong in this match, and I think that's probably a testament to one, the fact how good DIY are at being able to make a great match happen as a tag team, but also probably how far much as I don't like him, how far Dominic Mysterio's come from his actual wrestling ability. He's massively improved. I'm not saying he's great, but like it's so much better. Like, you know,
he's definitely showing signs now of a future world champion.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a long way to go.
Yeah,
like another 15 years, but he's showing the potential that people saw in him early doors.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the best thing about that match was, I mean, before specifics, is more the fact that they were high output from the start. I mean, there was a lot of false finishes. Like, for me, I'm not a big fan of matches where there's a lot of kickouts, but they didn't make it look weak. They weren't going to late 2 counts the whole time. Some were going at 1, some were going at early 2. So the energy was always going on. A lot of outer ring action that wasn't full on, which was really nice. And that meeting in the middle at the end was it was beautiful. But for anyone that has, because what's on, it's on Binge. For anyone that does have Binge or can find access to it, they got to give it a watch. Or KO, like, got to give it a watch.
I'm pretty sure you might actually even be able to find highlights of it on Facebook and YouTube over on the WWE channels.
Quite likely.
So I know they. I don't know if they still do, but WWE do a top 10 the next day on their Facebook and Instagram pages for the shows that were, the day before. Now, the end of the show was a bit out of nowhere in having Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah. Along with what's Jinder's group's name as well, just to remind me.
Indus Sher.
Yeah, so he also had his background with him as well. I don't know. This match really annoyed me personally.
It did me as well. Like they played it well by actually making you believe that Jinder was going to win. I thought they did really well there. But as you put it, they superseded Seth Rollins in having him kick out after he's been smashed in the head with the briefcase, been given the Coloss, and then kicks out too.
Yeah. I've been saying this for months now too, like against Nakamura and against Balor and McIntyre. Like he's on a very Super Cena run, and it's cool to see him have a nice reign, but like, I don't know, they've given him too much with, like, as I'm sure you guys, like, as students that you can attest to this too, they've given him too much with the back injury and like all of this. Like, they're trying to make it seem like it's going to be so hard for him, but I don't know. Like, some of his matches have been good, but
this takes us to the next point in this match. He tore his MCL.
He did partially tear his MCL. That was Seth Rollins. There was a spot that everyone thought was a work.
Didn't he do it like 10 years ago too? In like a house show or something?
Did his ACL
that was ACL.
6 years, five or 6 years ago.
Was it the other knee?
Same knee, or was it different knee?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Sure.
But that then led to the whole reason why Finn Balor then won
the Universal title.
To
which he then got injured in the match as well.
Yeah.
That hurts.
I do think they are. No,
sorry. It was during Seth Rollins' reign that he did his ACL because he had to vacate the title, didn't he?
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And then Kevin Owens won the title.
Universal title. What were you saying, Stu?
Because I think they are just trying too hard to sort of justify Rollins as like world heavyweight champion material because they went on a couple of year sort of run where they really weren't pushing him and he didn't look that much like a sort of legitimate, like top tier title holder. And I think there were a lot of fans who sort of like still knew that, yeah, Rollins is great and all, and we want to see him hold a title like that. But, you know, they're trying to sort of big him up to almost the same level as like Roman Reigns, as this is a guy who can go on this massive long title run. And that's really hard to justify for someone like Seth Rollins, I think.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Because he has, you know, had these runs, and they have like shown how big and good he can be, like with his cash in at Mania and stuff like that. And the what was the angle with Triple H and Stephanie and the authority
angle,
the
which was
authority
the
angle,
like kind of the follow up with it.
Like he's always been up there. Like he was the first NXT champion. Like,
but I'd argue it'd have to be argued that NXT made him look strong as a champ. But when he had the belt the first time, the authority just made him look like kind of a I don't know. He was always
security, and
he was always just kind of sniveling behind the bad guys.
Yeah,
like it's like he always kind of hid behind Hunter, and then he hid behind J&J security, and it's like I think there's measurable points to both. I think either way he's a massive star. Like I don't think that can really be disputed. Like he's a main draw. It's just I don't think he needs the. Yeah, well, that's fair, but I don't think he needs the title to be a main draw. Though is kind of my thing. He can be an uppercarder without. He can be a main carder without needing the title personally, but they're trying too hard.
Yeah.
And you really just brought back Jinder Mahal, who is, I mean, is anyone? I don't know if any of us are big fans of him or fans of him at all or not. I'm not personally. It's not by his fault.
As a worker.
No, that's where I would put it. No, I think he's just had the same 4 moves ever since he jacked up, and it's boring. Like it's just not interesting. But you know, they tried to make him seem legitimate by giving him a title match, probably more for the card it was on to get more viewers or more ticket sales. But like they've just kind of done him dirty. I don't know if that's, you know, he actually looked personally. He looked all right. I think he didn't look bad. He looked decent. Like if either of you haven't watched that match back, like it's not long. I'd give it a watch. But that match would probably be better.
It only went for like 8 minutes or something.
See, that match would probably be a lot better if it wasn't only 8 minutes, and that false finish would have made that match great. But the false finish made it look like a farce because of how short it was.
I think we said that at the time, didn't we? That if that match was 15, 20 minutes long, that would have been a great match.
Yeah, because that finish the finish was cool, but
I'm not sure Jinder really wants to be wrestling all that much anymore. I think that's why he went back to NXT and became a manager. I think he's just at that point of his career where he's sort of trying to take a couple of the young Indian guys under his wing and give them a bit of knowledge and boost. Like he's been around a long time.
He has. He was in 3MB for God's sake. So
I mean, you got to feel sorry for Heath Slater. I mean, it was his group. 2 of them got sacked. He got kept. He then gets sacked. These 2 guys come back completely jacked and both win the world title.
Yeah, and he's still Heath Slater.
Once again,
he was never superstar material. Was he?
What was that? Sorry, Blowy?
As soon as they come back, Vince McMahon saw a muscle band idiot, and he's like, "Oh my god!" Like it's typical.
Are you really calling Drew McIntyre an idiot here?
No, I actually like him, but you get what I mean. Like as soon as you come back on roids and jacked, Vince McMahon gets a hard on for you. Like it's just typical Vinny.
Vince McMahon likes big, sweaty men. Yeah.
But you know that's a whole different kettle of fish now. He's no longer there. Has no input. It's all Nick Khan and Triple H.
Still his company.
I'll say you don't think
but creative
every week.
It's. I mean, it's his company, but it's not his company. Like he sold his whole shares.
Yeah, he doesn't have creative control at all.
Yeah, you don't think he's on Hunter's ear every week going, "I want this done," or "Hey, maybe we could do this."
And you know the last
Hunter is, but Vince isn't.
No, sorry. I meant you don't think Vince is in Hunter's ear going, I reckon we see.
No.
No?
And you can see that.
Nah.
I mean, the biggest change just happened this week on SmackDown. Vince McMahon didn't want Pete Dunne wrestling on the main roster. He just wanted him to attack people backstage, which we saw early on when he got called up. They've got rid of the whole Butch name and everything now, and he's back to being Pete Dunne, the Bruiserweight. And him and Tyler Bate have got the British Strong Style tag team going again.
Oh,
and look fantastic. The only thing that's missing is the other guy that was in it. Him and Tyler Bate had Mustache Mountain tag team in NXT UK.
I
can't remember what the other guy was.
Trent Steven.
Trent Seven. Trent Seven,
not Trent Steven.
I think he's over in TNA or NXT, but pretty much retired. But you know, they started the whole British Strong Style thing, and it's great to see that back. One thing I think needs to happen and happen soon is separating those tag titles.
To go to, I just have to say I'm also a big fan of their first one being over Pretty Deadly. So that's an all UK tag match, isn't it? So
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they obviously spent a lot of time working together over the years as well in NXT UK and the independent circuit over there before, you know, going over to NXT America.